Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The unabated dance of death has completely hijacked the festival of democracy in West Bengal. The spilling of blood of at least 30 residents during this panchayat election has left a deep stain on the calendar. The polls for appointing grassroots public representatives were fought with bombs and bullets, and the price of dissension was paid in blood. If you think it sounds like a civilization's return to Jungle Raj, then you are not far from capturing Bengal's reality in the past month or so. Ever since the poll dates were announced, there's very little room for Didi to defend her government after being at the helm amidst the carnage of men and democracy. It is no wonder then that the State Election Commission today stands in the dock for alleged dereliction of duty resulting in the bloodbath. The poll body attempted to lay the blame on the doorstep of the central forces, but the BSF revealed how the state poll body hid vital stats from them, so much so as to cause criminal negligence of non-deployment of these forces. Listen in to this interview by our reporter Navika.
इट वॉज रिक्वायर्ड कि हम स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन के साथ अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन करें और उनसे बराबर मीटिंग करें, जिससे कि हम ये पंचायत के इलेक्शन की जो जिम्मेवारी थी उसको हम सही तरीके से निभा पाते। तो इसलिए हम उनसे पिछले कई दिनों से ये रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे। राइटिंग में हमने 5 तारीख को एक लेटर दिया, 6 को दिया, 7 को दिया, 8 जुलाई को भी दिया कि आप हमें सेंसिटिव पोलिंग बूथ की डिटेल दे दीजिए ताकि हम अपने ट्रुप्स को वहां पे ठीक से डिप्लॉय कर सकें। तो ये जानकारी एक हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट थी, हमने बार बार मांगा लेकिन हमें मिला नहीं।
The BJP has squarely blamed the ruling Trinamool Congress for the deep degeneration Bengal has slipped into. The Congress state unit has unequivocally blamed the ruling dispensation for instigating violence in the state during the panchayat poll, but the central leadership has maintained distance when it comes to accusing Mamata Banerjee's government because, after all, democracy is in peril only where Modi is concerned, because when it comes to any of the united opposition leaders, it's complete silence. Take a look.
Death toll of the state West Bengal has been continuing unabated. It is virtually going up. So I urge upon the judiciary that an investigation should be conducted under the stewardship, superintendence of sitting judge of this High Court. The death toll has been mounting up. Third, the state government got the temerity of brazenly and egregiously.
See, any kind of violence doesn't have any space in democracy. Our local leadership in Bengal, they had also reiterated the same thing. Here also I am repeating the same thing. किसी भी प्रकार की हिंसा का लोकतंत्र में कोई स्थान नहीं।
However, the opposition bloc that has vowed in the name of saving democratic institutions to unitedly fight against the BJP in 2024 polls has been conspicuous by its silence on the state of democracy in Bengal. The BJP has asked Congress to clarify if it will align with the Trinamool Congress at the national level after having accused it of murdering democracy in Bengal. Listen in.
पश्चिम बंगाल में पंचायत के चुनाव में जिस प्रकार से लोकतंत्र की हत्या होते लोग स्वयं देख पा रहे हैं, जहां लोकतांत्रिक अपने मूल्यों को, अधिकारों को जताने के लिए लोग मौत के घाट उतारे जा रहे हैं, उसी टीएमसी की पार्टी के साथ गांधी परिवार गठबंधन कर रहा है। मेरा गांधी परिवार से विशेष ये प्रश्न है कि क्या उनसे हाथ मिलाना मंजूर है उन्हें?
मैं तो कहूंगा कि 3 तरह से उसकी मजम्मत की जा सकती है। पहली कि पॉलिटिकल हिपोक्रेसी जाहिर हुई है। जो लोग कहते हैं कि मरकज ने क्या कहा, हत्या की है लोकतंत्र की, वो देखिए किस तरह से हत्याएं करवा रहे हैं। दूसरा, गवर्नेंस फेलियर, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर नाम की चीज नहीं। और तीसरा, अनलीशिंग ऑफ स्टेट टेररिज्म। सरकार खुद इस कत्ल गारत में शामिल है।
It is an acute dilemma that threatens to expose the ideological dissonance in this group of political parties that has stepped out to save democracy. The politics in Bengal begs to ask if the enablers of this bloodshed can escape accountability along with those who are guilty of silence. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the NewsHour tonight. Has Bengal violence exposed the hypocrisy of the democracy defenders? That's the question and that's the debate, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on the other side.
You're watching the NewsHour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Gadgi Nandi Roy, political analyst. Also joining me tonight, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress Party, Saira Shah Halim, leader of the CPIM. But my first question goes to Mr. J.P. Majumdar, State Vice President and spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. And Mr. Majumdar, tonight I want to ask you, is the Bengal government guilty of violence that went on unabated during the panchayat elections in Bengal, of the deaths of 30 people, of the bloodshed, of the taking away of ballot boxes and the complete desecration of the festival of democracy, the manner in which these elections have been conducted in Bengal? Tonight I want to ask you, don't you see democracy in peril when you say this nationally against Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India? What about looking within and answering some questions and doing some more soul searching on your part as well?
Navika, in any case, Defense Council gets their time to defend themselves. Here you have put a court, and I hope sincerely you will act judiciously, giving the Defense Council like me proper time. That is least I expect from you. Now your question, I would like to point out, no, it's not, there is not complete destruction of democracy. You should know the statistics. There were 61,000 booths where election took place, and the allegations and all others involved is less than 1%. Again, I will reiterate, 1% booth, and 99% booths in entire Bengal saw peaceful election, and 99% voters, they voted peacefully. And surprisingly, neither your channel, like many other media channel, they did not thought it is required to show the how democracy is working in 99% of the booths, and 99% of the voters, they are doing the democratic rights and democratic exercise peacefully. No, it was not shown. Only thing the media was interested, the way you have shown here, the way BJP people has put it there, only on 1% of the booths and 1% of the voters you are concentrating. Very well. But I will point out another fact, that out of these 30 people died, the majority, 70% of them are Trinamool Congress workers, and that shows who was the victim and who was the attacker. The attacker were BJP, CPM and the Congress combined in this West Bengal state, and continuously they were making the war cry throughout last 1 month of time. So Radhika, I would just request you, don't celebrate the black side of it. Celebrate that 99% of booths which went peacefully and 99% of people who voted peacefully. You should celebrate that.
Mr. Majumdar, my name is Navika, and I don't want to celebrate anything in Bengal tonight. You might feel like celebrating today, and tomorrow when the results come in, you can celebrate, but for me, 30 people have died and 30 people too many. You said 70% of them are Trinamool Congress workers. Well, let me tell you, it was the state government's job and the police force's job to protect even those 70% and the other 30% who lost their lives. It was the job of the state security forces to protect the ballot boxes which were taken away. It was your job, Mr. Majumdar, to ensure that there were free and fair elections in all of the 100% polling booths, not the 99% that you claim. So I am in no mood to celebrate, Mr. Majumdar. You, of course, may be in a mood to celebrate the dance of democracy that you have seen. What I see is violence, arson, and I see killings, I see bombs, and that is the picture that stays in my mind as well as the minds of many other Indians. And let me tonight ask Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla, are you celebrating democracy today in
No, I want to have 1 minute time. Navika, I want your long monologue.
May
I want
continue,
to
Navika, or else you will be stuck with only one person speaking all night.
My friend, Mr. Majumdar, I gave you time, but you wanted to celebrate. Now you wait for your time to celebrate some more. But first, let me get in the other voices, sir. I will not be dictated on how democracy has to be run Bengal style. Just a minute. You've spoken.
Defense Council should get time.
Yes, you will. I'm not going away. The debate has just begun.
You are partial. You are not neutral. You are not neutral. You are not ready to give the Defense Council the proper time.
How can you call me partial when nobody else has spoken other than you, Mr. Majumdar, and I'm not going to be cowed down by your tactics at all. I'm not going to be cowed down by it. That kind of democracy can run in Bengal. It does not run in the rest of the country. So please wait for your turn. I will come back to you. I promise you that we will hear you. But Shehzad Poonawalla, the question is, am I partial, or is Mr. Majumdar not reflecting the truth that everybody saw on television screens? Because this is the day of information which is available, in real time.
He's sounding less like a defense counsel and more like devil's advocate, and perhaps he would like even this debate, like most of the seats in West Bengal, to be uncontested and only a one-sided affair. But that's not how democracy works, at least on Times Now. Usually, Navika, what do we see on days of polling? We see by 3 p.m. 30% voting, by 4 p.m. 40% voting. This is the only election after 1990s Bihar. By 3 p.m. 20 dead, by 4 p.m. 30 dead. This is the kind of Ma Mati Manush being replaced by bomb, booth capturing and blast. And this is in Rabindranath Tagore's Bengal. This has what it has transmutated into, and it has happened because this is state-protected violence, this is state-instigated violence, state-sponsored violence, and an institutionalization of political violence. By the way, to all the questions that Mr. Majumdar is asking, the fact that TMC workers have died more in number is no consolation. It only shows how incompetent your chief minister is. Secondly, you are saying that all of us engineered this together, the CPM, the BJP. On the one hand, they say that the BJP is so weak, the CPM has no existence. Then how come we are engineering this? And if indeed we have engineered this, then you must also say that in Bengaluru you will not be going and sitting with these parties. These are the same parties with whom you will be sitting in Bengaluru, and they are the ones who are orchestrating this against you in Bengal. Bengal mein kushti or Bengaluru mein dosti. The invitation is being given by Congress party. But let's come to the larger issue, the questions that need to be answered, and I'm sure even Anand Ranganathan will raise them. There were 60,000 odd Central Forces troops in Bengal from 7th of July at least, even before that. The DIG BSF who spoke to Ravikant was saying, give me the data of sensitive booths. Why wasn't it given except for the number? How many CCTVs were put in how many booths? Why is it that the booth level officials were were themselves doing chappa or voting before even the voting began. Who was responsible for that? Why were people allowed to roam around with the guns? The police or administration was with the state government. Why wasn't action taken? Bombs were found. Bombs were being exploded here and there. We've seen the manner in which people have been killed. All these questions need to be answered. The fact of the matter is today that where is that Mohabbat Ki Dukaan ka franchisee in Bengal? Navika, just 10 seconds more and I'll take these 10 seconds from Anand Ranganathan. मैं दूरबीन से ढूंढ रहा हूं. I can't see Mohabbat Ki Dukaan in Bengal. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, for at least whatever it's worth, has the courage to call out what is happening is the death of democracy in Bengal. But in the name of saving democracy, all of these people will be uniting in Bengaluru. Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, you have contested against this TMC. At least you should tell Rahul Gandhi to make one tweet about this.
I want to ask you, Adhir Ranjan says something, but it is heard only in the boundaries inside Bengal. It doesn't, the voice doesn't travel outside Bengal. Is this the democracy you're trying to protect, Kamruzaman Chaudhary? And really, Shehzad has taken the words from my mouth. मोहब्बत की दुकान का क्या हुआ? ये आपको मोहब्बत की दुकान लगती है जो बंगाल में जल रही है? I think you're on mute. Maybe you want to unmute yourself.
He's on Rahul Gandhi mode. Rahul Gandhi mode.
Yeah, can I?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. जहाँ जहाँ नफरत की बाजार खुलेगा वहाँ वहाँ राहुल गांधी अपना मोहब्बत का दुकान खोलेंगे. No doubt about it. Now coming back to the point of
नहीं, पर बंगाल में कहाँ है मोहब्बत की दुकान? जल गई.
खुलेगी ना. अभी तो फाउंडेशन हुआ है पंचायत इलेक्शन में. अभी उसका नींव भी रखा गया. अब उसका दुकान भी खुल जाएगा. Don't worry about it. Because in Bengal, each and every congressman has seen the brunt of the brutality of the Trinamool Congress and how they have beaten our workers, how they have killed our workers, how they have looted the booths. And that too, we all believe in connivance with the Union Home Ministry. I say this on national television, I have got records for that. Because if on the 7th of June, the election commissioner, Mr. Rajiv Sinha, a worthless human being appointed, and on 8th, he issues a notification for the panchayat polls without even consulting anybody. The opposition leader in Bengal goes and meets the Union Home Ministry. 822 companies of paramilitary forces were being requested by the High Court, and till the 7th, only 350 companies could land up in Bengal. Why were the companies delayed so much? Just one day prior to the elections, from Ladakh, a plane load of policemen of paramilitary forces were brought into Bengal. They were made to sit in the airport and for a duty that was supposed to commence tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Now my question is out here is how come the deployment of the forces, the central forces, for which each and every citizen of Bengal was so much looking forward to, at least not like 2018, we will have a better election this time. There won't be any death. The High Court made the State Election Commission, the state government and the Union Home Ministry party to this, saying that you better send the forces for a free and fair, violence-free election. The citizens of Bengal were cheated by all these three people out here. What is the connivance of the TMC and the BJP leaders of Bengal, along with the Union Home Ministry, not sending and deploying the forces properly in the sensitive booths? This is no excuse that the sensitive booths list were not published earlier. Now, where the booths,
no, who is supposed
who
is supposed to get the list of sensitive booths, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary? And may I also tell you, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Ms. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, what they had to say when there were incidents during the UP Panchayat polls? Priyanka Gandhi came out and said this in 2021. PM साहब और CM साहब इसके लिए भी बधाई दीजिए कि यूपी में आपके कार्यकर्ताओं ने कितनी जगह बमबाजी, गोलीबारी, पत्थरबाजी की, कितने लोगों का पर्चा लूटा, कितने पत्रकारों को पीटा, कितनी जगह महिलाओं से बदतमीजी की. Not one word today. I also want to tell you what did Mr. Rahul Gandhi say then. He said Congress, he tweeted and he said Uttar Pradesh violence has been renamed masterstroke. Where is his voice tonight? And I want to ask you, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, are these double standards? Is this hypocrisy personified when the Congress loses its voice. When the CPM and the Trinamool Congress and the Congress will sit together in Patna and then again in Bengaluru, they will cry about democracy in peril in the rest of the country, but will forget completely about Bengal before and after these panchayat polls. Isn't this hypocrisy?
Good evening, Navika. You know me for long, and I have always spoken as a common man, as a common Indian, and tonight there will be no exception. And I, as you have always wanted me to, ask questions of every political party. Every political party. Let me start with the TMC. Now, Mr. Majumdar has ignored the fact that unprecedented violence has taken place. It has been the biggest death toll, single-day death toll of any panchayat election in Bengal for the last 40 years. 20 people are dead. Guns, bombs, riots, rigging, ballot stuffing, ballots found in the gutters, ballots being burned. And this is what, Navika, please do not interrupt. Please ask the gentleman not to interrupt. Navika, this is very unfair because I waited for 20 minutes. Navika.
He says your information is wrong. I can't stop him. He's contesting your information.
Well, I'm talking about your information that you're giving. 20 people have been killed. Since morning, there were 19.
Which information are you contesting, Mr. Majumdar?
Have 20 people not been killed?
I will tell him that there was panchayat election where 100 people died. That is 203 election. And
so
are you justifying the deaths? 213 election. Meera Pandey was the commissioner, and she asked for, central forces.
You are contesting the previous years, Mr. Majumdar. You know, he's saying it was 100 earlier, it's only 30 now. So, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, what are you so hyper about? That's all he's saying. 30 people, well, it's just a statistic for him.
No, and as for his logic saying that only, I think it took only 1% booths were subjected to violence, and in fact 700 repolling has been ordered in as many as 700 booths. But according to his logic, if I were to say that there are 23,000 trains that ply every day,
it comes to
Navika, I cannot continue like this. I cannot continue like this. This is not Rajya Sabha, sir. Please. I was completely silently listening to you. Please have the patience and courtesy to listen to others as well. This is not West Bengal Assembly, please. Now, Navika, according to that logic, that is saying only 1% have been affected. By that logic, 23,000 trains ply every day in India. Why was Trinamool outraging on the Odisha accident of one train? Can I ask him? Why? Why talk about only one train when 23,000 trains were plying every day in India? This is the logic you bring in. People are dead. Democracy is dead. But unfortunately, even though democracy is dying in Bengal, this will not affect the democratic index rankings of India, because that is affected only by when Modi comes into the picture. Now, number two, my good friend Kamruji. Now, you've already talked about it. Shahzad had talked about it. How on earth, when the reality is being exposed by Mr. Chaudhary, both Mr. Chaudharys of the Congress, of rampant corruption and killing of democracy, why is Rahul Gandhi still silent? On what basis does he castigate Modi every day about democracy dying in America, in Europe, but he stays silent when democracy dies in Bengal? And finally, to my good friend Shahzad, 90 times in the last 75 years has the central government slapped president rule. Congress slapped president rule. 90 times dismissed governments. Modi in the last 10 years has dismissed only 3 times, that too non-controversially. I want to ask, when 50,000 people are displaced in 2021 elections, when so many people are dead, when hundreds of BJP karyakartas are dead, when 20 people are dead in panchayat elections, what is stopping Narendra Modi from imposing president's rule? What is he scared of?
You want to respond to that, Shehzad?
If the panel permits me, I'll respond to that. Anand, it is not time for Rashtrapati Shasan. It is time for Rashtravadi Shasan. And don't worry, Mr. Narendra Modi will bring that there. Rest of the things, you are more mature than me. These things are not discussed in public domain. There is the constitutional process. The Supreme Court lays down certain procedures and guidelines. But I am very surprised that those who take cognizance on petitions galore, today all of those people are sleeping comfortably, not seeing the pictures that are taking place in West Bengal. And somebody says only 1% booths were rigged. So how many should be rigged before we start taking cognizance of it? 10%, 15%, 20%? Thirdly, 822 companies landed on time. Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, even Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is on record to say that there's nothing wrong with the central forces deployment. It was the misdeployment by the local authorities. If you have been instructed by Rahul Gandhi to take a different position, say so, because Rahul is quivering to open his mouth. Perhaps he has advised you differently from Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Only one of the two Chaudharys can be right, not both of them. Fourthly, I want to just ask Mr. Vice President, I am making a point on TMC. Why is the Congress interfering? Why is the Congress interfering? Has your Gathbandhan been done already? Has your Gathbandhan been done already? Navika, I am not going to yield. Let me ask my last question. Navika, I want to ask my last question. I will not be interrupted. I will continue to speak. I will continue to speak till the time Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary yields, because it is my turn. Thank you. Mr. Zaman Chaudhary, we are taking up the cudgels even for Congress workers. So please hear out. At least Rahul Gandhi is not speaking, I am. Now let me make my last point. The fact is that Mr. Majumdar just said that the left, the communists and the Congress party and the BJP, all of them have orchestrated this violence. He is the vice president of TMC in the state. Provide the FIR right now on this show. You provide one FIR with one BJP leader's name on this show, or you take that claim back. Enough of you making these wild, out of the question remarks and comments without the proof. You show me the FIR.
Let me ask Saira Shah Halim. Saira Shah Halim, in 2013, 21 booths went for repolling. In 2018, this number went up to 573 booths going for repolling. And this time, 697, almost 700. Is this the graph of the Trinamool Congress's performance that is rising in Bengal? And when Mr. Majumdar says, oh, only 30 people have died, do you think that is something that Bengal needs to be proud of today?
Okay, see, Trinamool has a precedence of violence. Last year when I stood for the Baliganj by-poll, I defeated the Congress, I defeated the BJP. The Trinamool were very scared that I might win the election, and they went to they use all kind of measures to ensure that my rallies were cancelled. So this is their level of incompetence and their level that they can intimidate even women candidates. Now coming back, it is very clear that the police and the entire state machinery come under the state election commission, which is again a constitutional body. Now here the state has failed to conduct a free and fair election, because it is very clear that this kind of violence that we are witnessing in West Bengal has been unprecedented. Since the time the election was announced, more than 33 people have died for a panchayat poll election. It is absolutely saddening, and I think now the state needs to take account of these innocent deaths, be it any political party, because here, let's not get into their violence and our violence and get engaged in whataboutery that these people from our party got killed or those people from that political party got killed.
Whose basic job is it to maintain law and order? And I want to ask you, will you still go for the chai party in Bengaluru and sit there and discuss how to bring down Modi? Or will you actually raise the issue of Bengal in Bengaluru because you didn't in Patna?
It is very clear the West Bengal government has failed.
The question was also very clear. Take a stand.
To win at any cost.
Shameless.
There were internal feuds within the Trinamool Congress itself. There are internal
Saira, please take a stand. You all should boycott Bengaluru meeting.
That is the rule of lawlessness. that you are seeing across the state.
This is empty
Across the state.
rhetoric.
Here we are
We see it on
discussing
10
panchayat
debates at 10
Gargi
times.
Nandi Roy.
Let her take a stand.
No, but they
Take
won't.
a stand.
Neither has Kamruzaman Chaudhary taken a stand. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is crying hoarse inside Bengal. His voice doesn't travel to Rahul Gandhi, even though Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is the leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha. His voice doesn't travel to Rahul Gandhi's ears. And Gargi Nandi Roy, I want to ask you, are they complicit in killing democracy in Bengal tonight?
Navika, thank you for inviting me. Let me tell you, as a daughter of Bengal, today my heart bleeds when I see those mothers crying. Because, what is this? Is this a festival of democracy or festival of mourning? And Mamta Banerjee, you remember Lady Macbeth, Navika? She used to see her hands full of blood. Today, Mamta Banerjee's hands are full of blood and no water of Ganga can wipe it off from her hands. Now I'll come to one by one. First to Mr. Majumdar, they are so hypocrite, they're so shameless, and to the CPM party. This culture of violence was introduced by the left. Let's not forget that. And you know why so much of violence in a panchayat election? Because of the abject poverty. The left had driven away industries, no industries in last 10 years. So bomb making has become a cottage industry, and people in the villages, they think that the panchayats are the source of earning, which money goes to the top. That's why they are fighting with each other. And what is he talking? Trinamool people died more. So he should boast about that. And why have Trinamool died? Because there have been intra-party battle. Today, do you know what happened in Khanakul? I'll give one example. In Khanakul, the pregnant wife of a TMC outgoing panchayat pradhan was beaten up by the TMC block president Ilyas Chaudhary's men. Ask him to deny that. Do you know
Mr. Majumdar, respond to Gargi Nandi Roy, who's raised specific examples. And I want to ask you, I really want to ask you, today, should the Trinamool Congress actually apologize for not being able to maintain law and order in Bengal during elections? Simply just that.
Yes.
No.
Before that, I have to
talk to one particular
Yes,
point
Gargi,
raised by
I'm running out of time. Mr. Majumdar is responding.
Ranganathan ji,
yes,
that is Anand Ranganathan ji said about the president's rule in Bengal. I want to ask him that the line you are putting the stench of blood and bodies, but what's about Manipur? Anand Ranganathan ji, did you ask for president's rule in Manipur?
Deflect.
At that time,
why don't you answer Bengal when Manipur was the issue? We debated that. Why don't you answer the Bengal question tonight, Mr. Majumdar?
Mamta Banerjee stopped Modi's wrath at the border. Now you ask for president's rule, backdoor entry. You have defeated clearly in 2021 election. That's why you are saying backdoor entry. It's a shame. Anandji,
no response for the breakdown of law and order. Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan, 10 seconds and 10 seconds alone.
Don't do that thing on national channel, Anandji.
Yes, Navika, I would even take less than 10 seconds. Just one question to Mr. Majumdar. Mr. Majumdar, when were you there in the BJP last?
Why it is important? Subhendu Adhikari was in Trinamool. Do you ask him?
Simple question.
Mukul Rai was in... Because they went to BJP to clean themselves, to escape from ED. I have not come. I have not led BJP to escape ED and CBI. Anandji, I have not led BJP to escape ED, CBI.
Don't be scared. Give the dates. Don't be scared. Come on. Don't be scared. It was a gentle question.
No.
Why are you so rattled?
You are not answering.
I asked you a simple question.
Why you did
I
not
asked you a very simple question,
ask
sir.
for president
Was I
rule?
abusive? No.
You
Did I
answer
use
my
foul
question.
language? No.
It does not
Did I use
require
impolite
why,
language?
where,
No.
Well, ladies
Was
and
I
gentlemen,
wrong?
when it questions, when the question is asked on the price of democracy, nobody will answer it. When the question is asked on the price of life, nobody will answer it. When the question is asked, what is happening to the mohabbat ki dukaan, nobody will answer it because it's convenient. Ye baat aayi gayi because they're meeting for a chai party next in Bengaluru. By then, hopefully, Bengal will be forgotten and once again, Narendra Modi will be the center of attention. And all of them will forget the lives that have been lost and this sham of a dance of democracy that took place in Bengal. Because then it will be eyes on the next election and the next quest for power. And that is all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. Hypocrisy doesn't matter. Accountability doesn't matter. Law and order doesn't matter. Because it's only the poor who pay the price, not really the political power wielders. We leave it at that for now, but it's a serious question we, the people of India, will have to think about. Thank you very much to my panelists.